And I know talking with you before the call, before we started doing the interview, we were talking about like common, you know, common mistakes that people make or common things that lead to fitness fat loss plateaus. I don't know why I keep saying fitness plateaus, but lead to fat loss plateaus. And you said there was three things that you found that really lead to those fitness plateaus again, fat loss plateaus that people need to that they need to avoid. And can maybe you can share that with people?
Well, one of the big ones that I fell victim to was falling in a routine. If you run 2 miles every single day, your body adapts to that activity. If you never break out of that activity, it's never going to um, improve. Same thing with isolation weight training. The body is a machine. The body is meant for all of the parts to work together. So by doing isolation weight training, you're not doing functional movements. Basically, what we do with the curveball effect system is every single exercise engages the entire body all at once. And then the other big thing is avoiding long, boring cardio. Doing steady state cardio does not get your heart rate up as effectively as doing high intensity interval training, which is the same sort of science that the curveball effect is off of. So getting that heart rate up in a shorter period of time, quick bursts of activity, short rest. Um, Science has shown that that really is the most effective way um, to get fat loss results.
Okay. And one thing that we were talking about, prior to the call as well is that you guys really, target that homeostasis side of things or like the physical homeostasis. So maybe you kind of explain to people about that, why people, if they want to overcome fat loss plateaus, really need to do what they can to get out of that position of balance or homeostasis or physical homeostasis.
Yes, so the physical homeostasis just refers to that biological balance that occurs when your body does reach that plateau. It's not something we want. We don't want physical homeostasis. It's something that we want to break out of. And the way to do that is constantly shocking your body, constantly doing something different to getting out of that plateau.
Okay. And that's and the kind of the term that you guys kind of coined is that curve ball effect. And maybe you kind of explain a little bit, what the curve ball effect is.
So a lot of the movements that we do with our program and at our gym are moves that, a lot of people haven't seen before. So I remember when Brian was starting to train me, I was like, what is this? I've never seen this before. But that's what the curveball effect is. It's doing things that you don't see all the time. It's never doing the same thing twice. That's the reason at our gym we've had people stay with us for 5, 6, 7, 8 years because they're never doing the same thing over again. They're not plateauing, and because of that, and they're not getting bored. That's what the curveball effect is. We're throwing your body a curveball. It's something different every time, and it's working the body as a whole.
Awesome. So we've kind of talked about fat loss plateaus and how to overcome them. Now, what are some of your best ways to kind of keep the weight off? So we've talked about, how to avoid fat loss plateaus. What are some other ways that people can kind of keep that weight off?
Um, I mean, finding an exercise or finding a workout that you enjoy. I love obviously doing the curveball effect, so it's something I want to keep doing. Um, I just recently became certified as a nutritionist, so nutrition is something that I want people to think about too. One thing we preach at our gym is eating whole foods, avoiding excess sugars, and avoiding refined grains. So our whole mission is keeping things simple. We want people to be able to find a workout that interests them, keeps them engaged, keeps them interested, keeps their body guessing, and keeps them continuing to adapt. And we want to simplify everything as far as nutrition goes. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. That makes sense. Now, So we talked about, with the fat loss plateaus, there's a few reasons why, people are getting them, but what would be some other kind of hidden causes that are leading to people, gaining weight? They might be thinking they're doing all the right stuff, working out, eating well, but what would be some of the other things that might be, keep, adding the weight on and working against all the good stuff they're doing?
One thing we hear a lot from people is, they'll do a killer workout, they'll give it their all, and then they'll use that as an excuse to go through the drive-through and have a burger and fries and shake for dinner. A lot of people tend to reward themselves with food because they've worked out. Um, you need to have that nutrition and fitness working together on a consistent basis. The other thing that we see a lot is people not finding something that's sustainable. Sustainability is the biggest thing that we try to preach to people. Yes, when you start a workout routine, you're going to see results fast, but we all want that for the long run. So that's why you need to find something that you can um, keep your interest. And when it comes to nutrition, have those days where you do splurge, but that it needs to be something that's a pretty much all the time thing rather than Monday through Friday.
Yeah, yeah, good point, good point. And I kind of was gonna, that was kind of like my next question, like what eating habits that people are doing are making it impossible for them to lose weight. And you kind of covered a couple of them. I mean, is there anything else that might be sabotaging people's weight loss results?
I think added sugars in foods nowadays is really one of the biggest enemies. I want people to learn how to read nutrition labels because there's a lot of food out there that's very cleverly disguised as being healthy. That it comes in a organic looking wrapper. It says natural, it says organic, when a lot of the times that it isn't necessarily the case that it's something that's good for you. One example is yogurt. We have a lot of clients that come in and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm not losing weight. I had a Cliff Bar and a white chocolate raspberry Greek yogurt for breakfast this morning. Like, what's my problem? I feel like I'm eating so healthy. But both of those foods, if you look at the ingredients label, the first ingredient in the Cliff Bar is organic brown rice syrup, which is, fancy sounding name for sugar. Same with yogurt. It's got all sorts of added sugars in it. So people really need to learn how to read labels and not just be fooled by, the tricky wording that a lot of the foods out there use today. We preach, whole foods. You can't argue with food that comes from the earth.
Cool. Good. Now that kind of covers all the questions I have. Is there a question that I didn't ask, or is there something you want to leave people with when it comes to an additional tip or insight?
I mean, our biggest thing is when it comes to leading a healthy lifestyle, find something that you can stick to for the long term. That's our whole goal here. By throwing your body a curveball, by keeping it interesting, by keeping yourself from getting bored, that's what you're going to do. You're going to be able to stick to something for those reasons. So it's fun to look at the quick fix, but think about the long term. We're here for both.
Awesome. And then, Katie, where can people get more information about you and about your program?
So you can find us at kotrained.com/curveball effect. We are on Facebook also at kotrained.com. So be sure to like us.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Katie, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
No worries. And thank you, everyone at exercisesforinjuries.com. I hope you enjoyed this interview. Now, make sure to swing by exercisesforinjuries.com, enter in your injury or pain. There's a good chance I have an article, video, or an interview for you. And also just enter, whatever health or fitness question you have. There's a good chance that I have some writing or interview for you. Now, I think that's about it. So thank you very much, Katie. Thank you, everyone at exercisesforinjuries.com. This is Rick Casalge and Katie saying take care and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.